What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend, but we're back here with another rebuild here on 2K25. And today we got a team that I'm not really sure how to feel about this season. We're getting closer and closer to the regular season, and today we have the Clippers on tap. Obviously, we know things went south very fast this offseason. They lost Paul George. They went all in on him and Kawhi. It never worked out, and now they're kind of in a strange spot. So let's go ahead and jump in and do a Los Angeles Clippers rebuild. NBA 2K25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. So, of course, round of applause for going all in on Kawhi and Paul George. You try to win a championship. At least you tried, right? But now you're in this weird spot where you can't be bad. But I'm not sure if this team is going to be a play-in or a playoff team either this year. Because as we know, the Western Conference is always hard. And the Clippers, I don't know. Like, if Kawhi misses any games, you're going to be leaning on James Harden, which I'm not saying James Harden can't get it done, but I mean, he's not the same James Harden he once was. I'm sure he could maybe do that for a little bit, but for a full season, I'm not sure he really has that in him anymore. So it'll be interesting to see where this team is at the trade deadline, if they decide to make some changes then. So it's James Harden, Kawhi, and then there are some solid role players still here as well. But outside of that, man, there's not a ton to be excited about. You don't have your future draft picks for a while. It's going to be tough sledding for the Clippers if I had to guess, but maybe I'm wrong and maybe they end up being a play-in team this year and Kawhi goes on a crazy run. Like, that wouldn't totally shock me, but it's going to be tough, man. I mean, they signed like Derek Jones Jr. this offseason. They got Chris Dunn, but again, not a whole lot to be excited about. So for year number one, you have Harden, Norman Powell, Derek Jones, Kawhi, and Zubac as your starting five with Kevin Porter, who they signed as well. I forgot about that. Terrence Mann, Chris Dunn, and Nicholas Batum. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do in this video. I think primarily I want to see what 2K does with this roster. Like, are they going to be a good competitive roster? Are we going to be a play-in team? Or are we going to be bad? That's like kind of what I'm going to see. And then we can kind of make our changes from there. Because at the deadline, if we're really bad, then maybe it just makes sense to trade Harden and Kawhi. But again, at the same time, it doesn't help us to rebuild because obviously we don't have our draft picks, man. So I don't know when's the next time we have a draft pick. So 2027. So we don't have our 2025 or 2026, which really sucks because obviously, yeah, it's going to OKC both years, which is pretty obvious. But we have our 2027 pick, but not having our pick for the next 2 years, really tough. I mean, we have a pick swap with the Thunder, but of course the Thunder are going to be good. So that'll be a late pick if anything. But all right, let's go ahead. Semi year one, and we'll just kind of see what happens, man. Today's video is brought to you by two softwares designed to help you beat the sports books and become a much profitable sports bettor. We're starting on Daily Grind Fantasies Optimizer. So if you play on apps such as Prize Picks, Underdog, or any of these popular DFS apps, having a tool like this is insanely clutch to finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research whatsoever. So if you take a look at the board right now, there's a bunch of esports stuff, but we did find something on Garrett Wilson under 6 receptions. So as you can see, if you did take the under at 6.5, it's minus 165. So they're basically, this has a lot of push potential, not gonna lie, which is sometimes why I don't love playing those ones. You have a fantasy score and Carlos Rodon. Yeah, not a ton of great value on the board at the moment, unfortunately. Then we go over to Underdog and see if there's anything that pops up here. So you got some WNBA, but and you got hockey over points played too. So Sabrina Nascu, or however you say her name, you got under 18.5 points in the finals on Wednesday. You have 2 books at minus 130 favoring her to go under. So I guess that's a play, but again, not a ton of good value on the board at the moment for Daily Grind Fantasy. And then on OddsJam, it's positive EV tool. So this focuses primarily on traditional sports books such as like FanDuel, DraftKings. We have Fliff on the board at the moment, which is the only play I see at this moment. So as you can see, Breece Hall plus 105. Every other book is, you know, obviously has this at minus odds rather than plus odds. So Fliff giving you a clear discrepancy here, which is why we like the idea of taking Breece Hall over a touchdown. I mean, Breece Hall hasn't been great this season so far, but he's got to turn it around eventually, right? So make sure to check out both softwares. Links are down in the description below. Use code Crushables for percentage off your first month. 25, I believe, on DGF, and then 15, I believe, on OddsJam. So make sure to check it out. With that, let's get back to rebuilding the Clippers. So at the end of year one, Luka's your MVP, Zachary Riche is your Rookie of the Year, Amon Thompson 6-man, Wembanyama Defensive Player, and Cade Cunningham Most Improved, and Edwards Clutch Player, and Jason Kidd is your Coach of the Year. So I did not stop at the trade deadline because things went fairly well. I mean, I think if you're the Clippers, you'd be excited to just be in the playoffs in your new arena. You'd sell some tickets, make some money, I guess, but 24 points per game and decent efficiency out of Kawhi. So overall, things went pretty well, but it still doesn't stop me from maybe making a trade this offseason. So we actually end up as a play-in team. We were like the borderline playoff / play-in team, but we're at the top of the bracket at least. Did 24 from Kawhi, 6.5 from James Harden, and 14.5 from KPJ, 12 and 11 from Zubac. So do we beat the Pelicans to get in? I guess let's go ahead and shrink this down to our best rotation possible in a 9-man way. So we'll do that, and we'll see if we can beat the Pelicans to get in. And we do. So we're in the playoffs. We get the Mavericks in round 1, which of course is a familiar foe for the Clippers. But I believe with Luka Doncic, Kyrie, Klay, I don't know if we'll have enough ammo to beat the Mavericks here, but we'll see what happens. So many current round against Dallas, and we are going to get swept. So yeah, that's not a great sign. I mean, you sold 2 games out maybe if you're the Clippers. But yeah, not great. So I don't think that's going to stop me from making moves this offseason. So Mavericks 76ers go on to win it all. Or sorry, one of them is going to go on to win it all. The Mavericks, I guess the team we lost to in round 1, went on to win the championship. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do this offseason. Nicholas Batum is going to call it as well a career. Let's go to the lottery. This isn't going to matter for us, of course. At least we got in the playoffs, so this pick isn't going to be that good for the Thunder. So they have 19, and then we get their pick at 29. So again, they didn't get a lottery pick off of us, but next year they probably will based off what I might do this offseason. So let's head to draft night, and let's start with trying to trade Kawhi. Kawhi just had a really good season. So I definitely think it's time to move on from him. Both parties should probably part ways at this point. Getting swept in the first round, you're just going nowhere anytime fast. So I think it's time to make that move. So we're going to see what team makes the most sense for Kawhi. Let's see who's making the best offer. I don't know if there's like a realistic trade I have in mind. I'm just going to kind of see what pops up and what the best offer is for us going forward. So just kidding. We got no offers for Kawhi Leonard before the draft. So we're just going to go ahead and instead draft here. So we have pick 29, as I mentioned. So we have Colin Murray Boyles. We have a Visich on the board. We have Conrad. I think I'm going to take a Visich here with this late pick out of Arkansas. So that'll be kind of our backup big to Zubac potentially. But obviously we had nowhere near a good pick to take like one of the top prospects. But we'll go ahead and take a Visich with Pride. And Harden declines his player option, which is tough, but we might lose James Harden for nothing. Kevin Porter is also declining him, and Kobe Brown, not Kwame Brown. We can accept that. And then qualifying offers, Bones Highland is a free agent. So we'll take a look at, Harden. I don't think we're going to re-sign him, though. I think it's time to move on. He wants $40 million at 35. Yeah, I think it's time that we just call it, man. We just got to have to cut our losses. We're not good enough, and it doesn't make any sense to keep investing in this roster, in my personal opinion. So we'll see if something pops up now for Kawhi. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this somewhat realistic, as you guys know. If you watch my videos, yes, I could do this right now. This would put us on a great path, but why on earth would the Grizzlies ever do this? It makes little to no sense. So yeah, I know there's some people that don't understand that concept sometimes, but I try to keep things somewhat realistic. Trae Young for Kawhi. I mean, doesn't really make sense. If the Hawks are trading Trae Young, they're probably rebuilding. Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero is interesting, I guess, but I don't know if Miami would go that far for Kawhi. LaMelo, Brandon Miller, again, makes no sense. So some of these so far literally make no sense at all. Cat McHale, no one. Okay, so Brooklyn, as great as a rebuilding package this would be for us, it doesn't make sense for the Brooklyn Nets. Unless, I guess, in this scenario, they were getting like a free agent to pair with Kawhi and trying to build a roster in one offseason. But I'm sure they've learned from their mistakes on that. Howley. So we're getting some crazy offers. You get Cooper. Okay, this one is interesting because the Rockets do want to go on, like, they want to contend. So this one puts us in a great scenario. The only problem is I've had Cooper Flag in so many videos, which is why I almost don't want to do it. But I think I could cook something up with the Rockets because we know there's rumors out there that they want to be competitive. They want to go contend right now. So I'm actually down to try to do something with Houston here, which is something I don't think I ever would have thought of doing. But instead of Cooper Flag, because I've got him in so many videos, yes, this would put us on a great path. But I think this is a little too rich. So Jabari makes sense to me. I'm fine with that. Would they give me Ahmed Thompson somehow just to kind of change it up? Or even Tari Eason? I would take one of those two. Reed Shepard, I guess, wouldn't be too bad either. But yeah, like I said, instead of Cooper Flags, I've got him in so many videos. What if they gave me Ahmed Thompson instead? I don't know if they would. They say no. This gives a... Wait, what'd they say? This excessive amount. I mean, what? You just asked for Kawhi. What are you talking about? I guess they were gonna have Cooper Flag in this scenario. What if I threw you like... I mean, would you got Norman Powell as well? I don't mind just throwing Norman Powell in here as like a contract dump as well. And then can I get like one of your picks off of you? Like maybe not Brooklyn because which they're not even supposed to have anymore, by the way. Let's say it's a future Rockets pick. So what do you say about this? They agree. Okay. You know what? I'm not mad at that. So I don't know if the Rockets would do that and trade that much, but we get a first round pick and Ahmed Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. I think that gives us a nice intriguing path. going forward. Is it something that I see happening in real life? Probably not. But again, we know the Rockets want to be competitive. So we're going to move Ahmed Thompson to being our lead guard at point guard, which I like. So he'll be the lead guy with Jabari, who will have to pay eventually. But I don't mind that at all. So we are going towards a rebuild. And at least we have two young, intriguing players we could be excited about going forward. So I'm down for that. I think it's a great way to start this video. We do have money to sign someone to free agency if we want to, which we probably will because we got to fill out a roster here. So Terrence Mann, Cam Christie. I'm actually fine with giving Cam Christie some minutes this year. So we'll move him to small forward. Derrick Jones will probably start still. We'll move Cam Christie to small forward, so he'll be our backup small forward. Terrence Mann will probably come off the bench still, of course. So this will be our small forward rotation. This is our power forward rotation, which I'm fine with, and center rotation I'm fine with. So I think we just kind of need a lead shooting guard, and we should be fine. And that will be kind of what we roll with. So like Corey Kispert sounds kind of fun. We can go, THT or something, or Trey Man. Give me Corey Kispert this night. I mean, I feel like we have more money than that. We have a lot of money now. Shooting guards. Like, we could go after Jalen Green and just put the Rockets together here in LA, but I don't really want to spend that much on Jalen Green. So, give me like, I don't know. Is there anybody else down here that's interesting? No, not Delano Banton. Quentin Grimes is interesting, I guess, at 25 years old. I'll go ahead and offer him a contract because he's really cheap. I'll see if I can get him for a nice little contract. So let's see if he accepts that. So we'll get him back. And then Bones Hyland, of course, as I forgot, as a free agent as well, which I do want him back too. So let's see if we even have his bird rights. I don't even know if we have his bird rights or not. So we do. He's not asking for much either. So similar situation with Quentin Grimes' contract. We'll get these two on very nice contracts. So we're going to renounce everybody else here. And we are rolling with what we got. So that is the start of this rebuild. We're going to let James Harden walk for nothing. And we trade Kawhi to the Rockets because they want to contend. And we put ourselves on more of a rebuild path. So I'm down for that. Quentin Grimes up to a 77 overall as well is nice. And then Cam Christie and Kobe Brown, as I said, will play minutes this year. So this should be fun. We'll kind of see how things go. Obviously, we're going to be far from a playoff team. We're probably going to be giving a good pick up to the Thunder, unfortunately. But again, I think this puts us on the right path. I would have done the Cooper Flag thing. I just feel like I've had him in so many videos that getting Ahmed Thompson instead, I think, is better. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. We trade Kawhi and Norm Powell for quite a bit. And now we go into next season feeling good about our future. So back-to-back MVPs for Luka Doncic, but we find ourselves in Jabari Smith wins most improved players. So I did boost his shot tendency up quite a bit, and it looks like it paid off nicely. He averaged 25 on great efficiency as well. So their trade looks like it's working out easily. So we find ourselves all NBA second team from Mom and Tom. Holy moly. Okay. Maybe I boosted their shot tendencies up a little too much, but I mean, if you got 25 and 25 from Ahmed Thompson and Jabari out of that trade, I think for the Clippers, you'd be feeling great. Yeah, you'd be feeling pretty good. Does Jabari make one as well? He most improved. So we got a most improved in an all-NBA team from Ahmed. I'm assuming he may have made all-defensive team because he does sometimes, and he does. So that probably helped out his all-NBA team status. But yeah, I boosted their shot tendencies up, which, as you can tell, really paid off. 25 and 25 respectfully, which is pretty wild. I didn't expect it to be that great. 15 from Bones Hyland, 12.5 from Zubac, and 10 from Quentin Grimes, 9 from Derrick Jones. But I was going to say, we find ourselves in the exact same spot as last year. Even when we had Kawhi, we are in the play-in again, and kind of the top of the bracket, once again, going up against the Kings. So this feels better, though, because at least we're like a younger roster that are surprising people. So let's see if we can beat the Kings to get in, and we do. So we're in the playoffs once again. This time we draw the Thunder, which is interesting because obviously the Thunder, they have our pick, but they're not going to get a good pick this year because we actually made the playoffs with, Ahmed and Jabari leading the way, which is a ton of fun. But let's somebody curl around against the Thunder. I doubt we win, but it would be fun. Okay, so we got 2 on them. Not too bad. We still have a lot more building to do, but that's a great start. Now, we are going to have a pick at all this offseason. We had a pick swap last year, but no pick this year at all. So LeBron James is going to call it. DeRozan's calling retirement as well. The lottery, of course, our pick is going to the Thunder, which isn't going to be a lottery pick at least. They get Utah's pick. Our pick ends up being 19 it's going to the 76ers, not the Thunder. So, which is probably from the James Harden trade, of course. But staff signing, if you take a look at this. So Tyronn Lue, still want to keep him around as a head coach. I think he's a great head coach, so we're not going to move on from him. On draft night, again, I don't think we have a pick at all, unfortunately. So no picks, but we have a second-round pick, which, again, I don't really care about usually because never really turns out to be anybody good. And that guy looks auto-generated as hell anyway. So Kobe Brown and Ahmed Thompson, of course, we'll accept both of those. We got Jabari, who's a free agent, which I knew that was going to happen, but we will pay the man. So, and we are LA, which, we have we have the ability to sign a free agent. You know, LA is still a free agency destination, so we can still do something here. Derek Jones Jr. And then I don't mind Zubac and Ivisic as our center rotation right now. I think Zubac is fine. Kobe Brown is our power forward rotation. So to me, I think we re-sign Jabari, obviously. And then if we can get a wing at the shooting guard or small forward spot and through free agency who kind of fits the timeline, that'd be kind of awesome. So as I punch my mic, I always do that sometimes. Okay, so it would be funny if we stole J-Dub from the Thunder for revenge for fleecing us, but I just don't think that's very realistic. Is there anybody who's here that makes somewhat sense for us to get? Shaden Sharp, no. I mean, maybe if he could never stay healthy, the Blazers wouldn't, you know, try to bring him back, but hopefully that's not going to be the case. So Mathurin is restricted. You have Beal, which obviously I don't want Bradley Beal. Ivy is interesting because obviously I could see the Pistons not resetting him eventually. Tari Eason, who obviously just came off the Rockets, so we can add another Rocket to the team. Sohan. All right. So obviously, first and foremost, Jabari Smith Jr. is going to get an offer from me. So that leaves us with about $37 million still to offer in free agency. So I still want to use that money to try to, you know, prolong this roster. So especially while Ahmed Thompson's only making like chump change right now. So Mathurin is interesting, or Ivy is interesting to me. So do we want like Ivy? And again, Sharp would be fun as well, especially if the Blazers didn't want to keep him around after a while. Which Sharp would be a great fit next to Ahmed Thompson. Ivy or Sharp is who I want to go after here. We're a free agency destination. So, but which one is more realistic? I do feel like Ivy is, but Sharp is the better player. I guess I'm going to go after Sharp. I'm going to give Sharp a deal. I don't know if the Blazers will match this or not, but I'm going to give him a deal and try to form a big three here with a bunch of young guns. So Sharp and Jabari, and the Blazers do not match it. So we are going to get Shaden Sharp through free agency. So we'll absolutely take that and run with that. So that feels great. And that is going to be kind of our big three going forward, I think. So Ahmed Thompson, Bones Highland, Shaden Sharp, and then you have Quentin Grimes now and Terrence Mann. You have Derek Jones, which I don't really love as my starting small forward, clearly. But I mean, we can maybe move Kobe Brown there. I don't know if he would go up if we did. He might. We'll see. So small forward, he stays the same. I mean, he might develop even more, though. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll find out. We're probably not going to do much else in free agency. So let's just go to player progression and see how much guys develop. I'm hoping a Visage can get some minutes this year. So let's see what we got. So we got Ahmed up to an 86, Jabari 86, so 386 overalls. You have Cam Christie up to a, okay, so it looks like Cam Christie is going to get that small forward start, which I don't mind. And Visage is up to a 78. Development in 2K has been pretty wild lately. Kobe did not go up at all, which is a little disappointing, but Cam Christie just unlocked that starting small forward spot, in my opinion. So Sharp, Quentin Grimes, Cam Christie, Derek Jones, and then Kobe Brown, Jabari. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to trade Derek Jones Jr. away right now. I think there's a team that could definitely use his services. So let's see who wants him. I don't really want too much in return. I prefer like, so Charlotte wants to give me a first round pick. I can't sit here and say Derek Jones is going to be worth a first, but if someone wants to give me a couple seconds, and this is literally just going to be able to free up more minutes for Terrence Mann to play still, because I do like his role. And if you move him small forward, he goes up. He's going to be even better than Derek Jones, which is why we did that. So yeah, that feels good. So we kind of have a rotation. I mean, I'm not saying we can win a championship next year, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. I mean, adding Sharp with Ahmed and Jabari makes things interesting at the very least. We're about to go into year 3. Year 1, we made the play-in and made the playoffs. Year 2, same thing. Now, hopefully this year we could take another leap forward. Maybe this time around, just get in the playoffs straight up, avoid the play-in, maybe win a series or two. That'd be pretty awesome. So at the end of year number 3, we don't get Luka winning MVP. This time it's Wembanyama. We got AJ winning Rookie of the Year for the Lakers. We got Igor as your 6th man. Wembanyama Defensive Player as well. Also most improved. So you have, 2 awards wrapped up by 2 players, or 4 awards wrapped up by 2 players, I should say. Clutch player goes to Jason Tatum and Jason Kidd. Oh, went to the Spurs, and they won 69 games. So, yeah, pretty solid season from them. All NBA first team Wembanyama. Did we get Amen to make this one again, or did Shaden? So Ahmed Thompson does make All NBA third team again, average 24 and 8. So doing some special stuff for us, which is nice. All defensive team. We do get we don't get Ahmed Thompson, but Asar makes it. It would be fun if we got Asar Thompson to pair with Amen, but the spacing would probably be really bad if we did that. And here's our all rookie teams, which obviously didn't matter for us. But I guess if Vince started playing this year, I don't know if he made it. I really didn't pay attention, but. Second seed, well, let me go look at that. Did he make an all-rookie team, by the way? Let me double-check. I skipped through that fairly quickly because I forgot we had a rookie playing, technically. So he didn't make it anyway. But all right, here are your player stats. And we are the second seed, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. About 25 from Jabari, who we just paid, so solid season. 24 from Amon Thompson, and 19 from Shaden Sharp. So all around, nothing to be too disappointed about. Pretty solid season. And we're in the playoffs as the second seed. So pretty insane. Hopefully come out here and go far, though. So we get Dallas, which, again, I said earlier, a familiar foe, as we all know. They have Nas Reed with Luka and Kyrie. That's pretty nasty. Lively, of course, is still developing, and they've added Tyus Jones. So we'll kind of see what happens. Hopefully we can beat them. I mean, I wouldn't be too shocked if we lost the Mavericks here, but we'll find out. And we are going to be in an even series with them. So yeah, drawing the Mavericks is probably the toughest matchup we actually could have gotten here in the first round. That really sucks. As a young team, we get to deal with Luka Doncic in round 1. That doesn't help us at all. But at least we have Amon Thompson to guard him. But we'll see if we can win this game 5. And it looks good right now. And we are going to win game 5. So 36 from Amon Thompson while guarding Luka Doncic. 0 for 4 from 3. But all good. I mean, he's still putting the ball in the basket. So can we come out here and avoid a game 7, I should say. And it's looking good right now as long as we can close them out in Dallas. We are going to round 2, which is going to be a close one. But we do beat them by 2. And we are on to round 2. And we get another team, which is the Thunder, who did beat us last year. So we'll see if we can get some sweet revenge against them. So here we go. I'm going to click through game this time. So somebody through game. Game 1 goes to the Thunder. They beat us by 3. We even it up, though, so we don't let them take both games in LA. So we need to take 1 in OKC, and we do that. Can we take both? And yes, we do. Okay. Now, can we take care of our home court? Yes, we do. We've made it to the conference finals, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say? We get the Timberwolves or the Spurs. Both teams are going to be tough. I mean, both teams are going to be really tough. They added Jalen Green. They have Rob Dillingham still in Minnesota, and then DiVincenzo, who was arguing with Tom Thibodeau or Rick Brunson yesterday in the preseason game. I saw that. That was kind of fun banter. So here we go. Who goes on to play us? It is going to be, oh, never mind, game 7. It's Minnesota. Honestly, I'm not saying that like I'd rather play Minnesota, but I guess I am because obviously Wembanyama is very intimidating. And Zubac probably would have gotten eaten up by Wembanyama. Gobert and Zubac, I think, match up a lot better, obviously. But the Timberwolves in their own right still have Anthony Edwards, who's a damn good player. Hopefully Shaden Sharp can clamp him up. Doubt it, but hey, we'll see. So this is to get to the NBA Finals. I mean, I didn't know we'd turn this roster around that quickly. Obviously, boosting Amon and Jabbar's shot tendency just did wonders for them. I didn't expect it to do that much, though. I don't know why. I thought I boosted it in kind of a realistic sense. I boosted it to like a 88, and then Jabbar's was like an 82 or something, and they just took off and ran with it. But here we go. Game 1, 1-0 goes to Minnesota. Okay. Game 2, they're up 2-0. So they take both games in LA, which doesn't feel great. We have to win one in Minnesota. Actually, win both, which I don't know if we'll be able to. It looks like the Timberwolves have the best of us. But again, we are a young roster, so there's nothing to be disappointed about. The fact that we made it this far is still a really good sign, going forward. So we'll see if we can somehow muster a 3-0 comeback or just at least get a game on them and not get swept here. So we are going to maybe win game 5, which looks like it might happen. And we barely do. 110 and 102. Backs against the wall. Let's go A-man rotation and just see what happens. I don't know. Like, we win this game, it becomes interesting at the very least. But every game has been, the game we just won was close. Okay, so we're going to maybe win this one. Maybe. It's close again. But we are going to win this one. So that becomes, if we win another one, things become interesting. I didn't know if I expected us to come back from 3-0, but we got to tie the series to even have a chance at that. And the Timberwolves are not playing around in this one. They're going to blow us out. I mean, we've kind of got back in the game a little bit, but no, they're not messing around. They're not blowing a 3-0 lead. So they beat us in 6. At least we got a couple on them after being down 3-0, but Cavaliers, Wolves in the finals. It is going to be the Timberwolves. So the team that we lost to went on to win it all. So what can you do? I mean, I don't think there's going to be much change for me this offseason. Clearly, we kind of have a roster that works. We just made it all the way to the finals. The conference finals. Got, a couple games away from the finals. So, first and foremost, we want to keep Tyronn Lue around. Clearly, something is clicking with him in this roster. So, let's keep him around. I don't think we have a draft pick from anybody, of course. So, we'll take a look just in case. So we have the 27th pick in this draft. So, we'll see if we can get a steal in this draft late in 2027. So, we got Trent Perry, AJ Robinson. Literally know nothing about these guys. I'll just take the best player available here out of Texas, I guess. All right, so we had a couple of seconds as well. We got AJ Robinson, who I would have considered there as well, and then Connor Ellis, so sure. Ross, I'm fine with declining, and then Cam Christie and Visich will accept. And then qualifying offers, Kobe Brown's a free agent, which I didn't want to bring him back. And Ahmed Thompson, of course, is a must resign as well. So Kobe Brown will resign and Ahmed Thompson will resign. I mean, I think that's going to be all we really need to do this offseason. Probably going to be running it back. I mean, development should be there. Do we want to sign anybody is the question, because I don't mind Bones Highland off the bench. I still like Quentin Grimes off the bench. I still like Cam Christie and Terrence Mann as a rotation. I don't mind Kobe Brown, and I still like my center rotation. So, yeah, I think I'm cool with this. We're just going to go player progression and see how much guys go up. And if there's a move that needs to be made with like Terrence Mann's contract, we could do so. So we got Sharp and Ahmed up to an 88, 89 respectfully. Cam is up to an 82, so him as a starting small forward feels great. Visage is up to an 80. So no one else really developed, but Terrence Mann didn't go down either. So there's nothing to be too upset about here. So I think I'm rocking with this. So we're going to go into year number 4 at this point. And hopefully this time around, we can advance to the finals. We got 2 games away. Maybe this time we get lucky and get there. So another MVP award for Victor Wembanyama, but let's go find out if we can go all the way. So Ahmed Thompson makes All-NBA first team. So, I mean, just look at the accolades this man is stacking up, which is just fantastic to have him on our team. So 23, 8, and 7, just doing his thing. Obviously, shooting still isn't there, unfortunately, but we got plenty of spacing around him, I think. All defensive first team from him as well. And here is your all defensive second team. And let's get straight into the playoffs. So this year we only ended up as the 4th seed. So that is a little disappointing, but here's your player stats. You had 23 from Ahmed, 22 from Jabari, 18, 13, 10, and then 10 and 8 from Visage off the bench, 8 and 8 from Zubac. So a lot to like here, but we'll find out if that's going to mean anything. So we got Minnesota and San Antonio no matter what. If we get out of round 1, that's a big if. We get the Kings in round 1, which outside of Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, I mean, this team should be beatable. If we lose to Sacramento here, that to me would be very unacceptable. So, I mean, I might even end the video on that note. So let's just somebody current against Sacramento. All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. That is ridiculous. I hate 2K so much. Doesn't make any sense at all. Like, how did we lose to that team? Fox and Sabonis compared to what I have stacked up. Are we serious right now? That is who we lost to in round 1. I'm lost for words, bro. I don't get it. Spurs probably gonna go on to win the championship, of course, and they do. All right, so I did run it back for one final season. I didn't want to end it on that note. Hopefully we get a better note this time around. So here are your end of the season stats. Ahmed with 20, 20 from Sharp, 19 from Jabari, 14 from Cam Christie, and 11 from Visage, 10 from Bones Highland. So let's find out if this year goes any better. We get the Grizzlies around 1, which this roster, you know, looks pretty good. So losing to them wouldn't be shocking. It just sucks to match up against them when we're the 1st seed and they're the 8th seed. So we'll see what happens. Somebody come around against the Grizzlies, and we are going to beat them in 5. Okay, so I mean, again, maybe Sabonis just bullied Zubac the whole series. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. We get the Mavericks in round 2, which obviously is always a tough matchup. Kyrie and Luka, we got to deal with. So we are going to be up 3-2. Can we beat them in 6? Yes, we can. Okay, we're back in the conference finals, and we draw the Spurs this time around, which of course is Wembanyama, of Harrington, Castle, Stokes, so on. They got Peterson off the bench. I mean, wouldn't shock me in the slightest if we lost this series. Game 1, that goes to them. Game 2, I mean, this is, yeah, I mean, the Spurs, that Spurs roster was stacked. So we're not going to get a championship today, unfortunately. The Spurs go on to win it all, so the Clippers curse remains the same. I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. This was a fun roster we still put together. Very happy with how it, you know, looked, but unfortunately, could never get it done. Spurs were just stacked up. Losing to the Kings last year was ridiculous. I think beating that Minnesota team was the best chance we had. I'm going to end it there, though, guys. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.